here.
Well, y'all, that is definitely not what we wanted to end up with, was a kitten. But now we have a new member to our family. So let me tell y'all how she ended up here. The black cat that y'all saw a long time ago that kind of ran and did its own thing. It was a wild cat, a stray. I don't even know where it come from. We let it stay in the fields. We caught it a couple of times, fed it, put it in a place where we're just going to try to feed it out. And, we're like, well, it can stay here. It can stay up there as a barn cat because Spike is getting old. But the cat, I honestly think something was wrong with it from the get-go, because several times, like, I saw it like eating gravel and rocks, and I just thought, I don't know if something's right with that cat. So we just left it up there and let it do its own thing, because somebody dumped it out here, and we would go down there and feed it. It would eat leftover chicken food or whatever. But something was wrong with the cat. It did end up dying. I kind of suspected something was wrong with it because it was eating gravel, and I had gotten it up and petted it just a couple of times, and like it was like eating rocks, and like something was wrong with the cat. So that cat ended up dying. Now this little black cat, where did it come from? So Annabelle's mom, where they live a couple of rows down from us, people have dumped cats at her house too. She has kept all of the cats, and all of the female cats have all had kittens. So Annabelle come over to our house a couple of nights ago, and she ran in and she was like, Miss Misty, there's a kitten in my car. I can hear it meowing. So I went out. I had some chicken already out. I took off a couple of pieces of chicken, basically crawled under the car and coaxed it out with a piece of chicken, and we were able to get the kitten, which is the kitten that we now have. Eliza begged and begged and begged to keep the kitten, and she said she was going to take care of it. So we put it in a kennel. We've given it a bath. I've treated it with ivermectin. Bathed her multiple times, and she's been running around inside just because I wanted her to get used to us before we just let her out. However, she's not going to be an inside cat. We are eventually going to move her out, but it's a process because of the dogs, and Spike does not like her. So we're trying to feed her, get her used to us, let her play with us, and then Eliza has been taking her outside a couple of times a day under supervision and just watching her play in the different areas so that she can learn our property and get used to us. So yes, we have a new member to our family now. Her name is Destiny, because she was apparently destined to be with us. We were not looking for another cat, and she rode from Annabelle's house to our house. We were able to get her out, and we have been taking care of her, and she is warming up to us. As you can see, she loves to be held and petted, and I don't think she's going to be actually much of a barn cat because she really likes to be with human attention. But we'll see. We're slowly going to transition her out, and right now she's happy and content where she's at, and we're just going to do the best we can with her and slowly transition her out. The canner is still out. Now, I still have some stuff to pick up from the kitchen from doing chicken broth from the leftover chicken. Oh, y'all, the potatoes. So very thankful. It has definitely been a big job. So the first day that we started doing potatoes, I put up 19 cans. The second day we did 28 cans. Yesterday we did 28 cans. And this is what we have left. The majority of the ones on the top, the big ones, these are going to be like our baked potatoes. The little ones we've left to really do like new potatoes. But we have the whole blanket down here left to do. So it is going to be my job today to go through, and again, these big potatoes are bacon potatoes, and the little ones, like these little new potatoes, I just throw in a pan with some salt and pepper and some butter and pop those into the oven and bake those, and we literally just get them out with a fork and eat them. So the little ones will stay and the big ones will stay. Everything else in between has to be canned. Now, here is my little section that I have left from last year. So I have just a couple of jars from last year. And let me show you my potatoes from this year. These are what we've done so far. These rows are 4 jars back. So they start right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have a big section. The top, again, like I told y'all, they're four jars back. I just can't get to all of them because of the way they're sitting. But you can see it's that wide. It's just 4 jars, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's what we've done so far. If y'all haven't seen my canning potato videos, y'all please go check that out. It is so easy to take potatoes that typically will stay shelf stable for a couple of months and put them in jars and literally make them shelf stable for many years. So if y'all didn't see that video, please go back and check it out. Potatoes are so easy, so easy. They are a little time consuming because I personally do choose to peel mine. And a couple of y'all asked me about that. Now, I'm just going to tell you why I personally choose to peel mine. I didn't talk about it a lot in the last video, but botulism actually lives in the soil. And because I'm digging, now all low acidic foods I pressure can, okay? High acidic foods, hot water bath, low acidic foods, pressure can. That's just what I've always done. But with the skin on the potato, because I do know that botulism does live in the soil, the pressure is supposed to kill all of the botulism spores. That's just the way it was designed. Your heat under that kind of pressure can get up much higher, therefore killing the botulism spores. Because I know that botulism lives in the soil. Things like carrots, I want to take as much of the outer skin off as I can. Things like potatoes, anything that you dig up, I personally choose to take the outer skin off of it. Turnip greens, anything like that. Now, things like squash, zucchini, I really don't peel the outer skin off of that because it's not like in the dirt and maybe sitting on top, but it's not like in the dirt. So huge difference there in my opinion. That is just my personal preference. We also are going to be throwing lots of meat on the grill. This is all of our meat, guys, that we raise here on the farm. And we are probably going to be popping some peas out of the can and squash out of the can because I'm not going to have a great deal of time to cook this afternoon. The one downfall to canning is that when it comes to cooking is that I use my stovetop. Therefore, I can't really cook, can't spend an hour or two cooking and prepping for supper. So we're going to go another route and do the grill. I've also, you see the chicken in the crock pot. I've done crock pot meals, and we've just done easy things like sandwiches and pizza and stuff like that just to get us by, because I have been on the stove. This is going to be my 4th day in a row trying to get the potatoes up. It is very rewarding, although it is a lot of hard work, because I know my potatoes are going to be safe. They're not going to ruin. And I'm going to be feeding my family potatoes that we grew here on our homestead for at least another year. Y'all, one more batch left after what's canning, and this room has been completely transformed. I know the last time y'all saw this room, I had blankets all over the floor full of potatoes with a table full of potatoes. I have canned every single one except for these buckets right here, and then I have one more right here. These are like the little potatoes that I will like throw in around roast or cook, kind of like is what we call down here in the South, new potatoes. And then of course, like I told y'all, I have sorted out all of the big potatoes that will basically be used for baked potatoes. And now we have honey. So Colby pulled all of the honey this morning, and he will start. We have Bible school this week, but he will start pulling some of those frames. We have our honey extractor right there, and we will start putting, actually we can do it all in one spot. We usually have to break it up in the living room, but now with our prepper's pantry, we will be able to utilize this area now for honey. 5-gallon buckets over on my cannon rack, and we can literally spin the honey, extract it right there on the counter with the 5-gallon buckets. I have some up here that are already empty with nothing in them. We just have to clean those out. And guys, we moved right from potatoes right to honey. This is at the end for sure, because we have so much more stuff coming in. I actually have blueberries and plums in the freezer. I won't do anything with the blueberries because I actually prefer to use those frozen. But the plums cannot stay in there. They will have to come out and be, I'm probably going to make some fruit leather with those. I'm just not going to be able to get to that yet. I had to get all the potatoes up and out of the way. So for the most part, you see that I have a little bit of fresh food over here on my cannon racks because I just don't have enough space for all the potatoes. So we're going to leave them over there. Obviously, we're going to eat off of all of those before we start the cannon one. And that is today's work. I'm finally done with jugging all the potatoes. We'll jump right into the honey. Colby will probably have to do most of that himself, but we will get it done. Tomatoes are going to start coming in. When they start coming in, I'm going to start putting up salsa. I do have some, yes, in here from last year. So I have a couple of bags. That's one. And here was the start of another one that I do have. I know I have a whole nother bag. Oh, they're down here. Here's one, and there's one behind there. So I have been saving up enough. Yes, you can freeze tomatoes. I've been saving up enough to start my salsa. I have lots of big green tomatoes outside, but they're not quite ready yet. So we will eat on some of those. And my main purpose in growing tomatoes is to make salsa because it is so good. And everybody in our family loves salsa. We do Mexican style meals a lot, and salsa fits right in with that. So I love to utilize those tomatoes, making stuff that our family loves, because that's what it's all about, growing things that I can utilize to feed my family. Potatoes is one of those. Before I get off, here is also on the agenda for this week. The majority of these we are going to leave as whole onions. However, some of the smaller ones like this, if I can talk Colby into letting me, that is probably what I'm going to be working on. Today is Friday, all day Saturday, and probably Monday morning and Tuesday morning before we go to Bible school, is getting these cut up and in the freeze dryer. I personally prefer to make powder out of all of this and utilize my powder in all my cooking. It's just easier for me, and it saves a lot of space, and I know that they're not going to go bad. So I'm going to ask him what he wants to do. He really has this big idea about wanting to cure them all out. However, in time they will ruin, and I like to just go ahead and say, okay, let's leave X amount of mini out for X amount of months, and let me just go ahead and put up the other stuff, because when we start school in July, it is a totally different ball game for me. I spend many hours in the morning teaching school and really can't even start any kind of farm chores until after lunch, which is usually 1 or 1:30. So lots of onions. They smell really good. This is also something that we have to get to. Y'all, I used so many of my jars canning. Today I went ahead and picked up a supply, 4 12 counts to put up, because I literally wiped all my jars out. Lots and lots of potatoes. The first day I canned 19 quarts, And for the last 3 days, I have canned 28 quarts. So a lot of potatoes have been put up. It is going to feed us for a really long time, and that's what it's all about. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.